They're going to red flag the event. They're going to stop the field, restart the race, and try and settle it.
Only 6 of these drivers go on to the Winston Select.
Look at Kenny Schrader go to the outside here, man. He is making a move towards the front.
Oh, Marcus!
Oh, easy.
No!
No.
On his roof, Chuck Bound.
Chuck Bound was up on his roof there for a second.
And comes sliding down the speedway. There are Michael Waltrip up in the wall on the outside. John Andretti is in it. That is the Melling car, number 9. Rich Bickle. They will race back to the line and take the caution flag.
Jeff Gordon's in the lead and Kenny Schrader's in second right now.
There is a long-held theory in stock car racing. Todd Bodine climbs out of his battered machine that when there is a full moon, the strangest things happen on the racetrack. John Andretti, Kenny Bouchard. You see Todd Bodine walking, talking to the accident personnel. There's Rich Bickle. And a lot of good cars just got torn up. Michael Waltrip's a 2-time winner of this race.
You could see how dejected Bickle was coming around there. He just put his hand up like, why me? But if you're in the wrong place at the right time on a major speedway, there's nothing you can do but ride it out.
Is that Chuck Bound in the black suit?
Yeah, he's out of the car.
He's okay. Now that's Todd with his helmet off. Turning Butch Mock's $80,000 race car. Looks like it's headed for the great BFI in the sky after tonight.
Yeah, you see him taking a drink of water. It just rung his bell just for a second. Now, Michael hit really hard. You see him, he's sitting down on the racetrack here. He'll need to get to him pretty soon.
Gonna catch his breath. That has to take a lot out of him. Look at Harry Gant.
No. I can't believe it.
Trying to drive it in.
Won't do him much good. You
Nope.
see the rear end housing turn towards the inside, and the wheel on the right front there is turned dead right.
And they're going to red flag this race. Rich Bickle, Chuck Bound. Now watch Dave Marcus, the green car with the red down.
He got touched right there by Ward Burton just a little bit.
And he almost saves it. And then it looked like Brett Bodine might have touched him, and around he goes. And here they come.
Well, you can see the racetrack's blocked there. Boy, Chuck was lucky there. He's on top of Bodine's car there just for a second, and then he gets on another car there. It's hard to see.
Show you this again from a high angle above the press box. Now it's
see
happening up
there.
front,
He
top of the
just
screen.
barely touches him right there. Gets Dave out of shape. From then on, everybody behind them knows they're in trouble.
Now watch the pack coming up. Look at the green car, Brett Bodine. Does he just get into Marcus? No, I don't think so.
No, he missed him, but now Marcus got into Bodine.
Now watch the 12th. Watch the black car at the bottom of your screen coming up here. Gets into Harry Gant. Moves over on Todd Bodine. Watch the right side of your screen. There's Bodine. And he just becomes a launch ramp for Chuck Bound. What a wild ride, and Bound climbs out unscathed.
Wowee. That don't need much comment there. You can tell that's just chaos. That's all you can say. They have the red flag out now, and they're attending to Michael. I think his bell's rung pretty hard, but he'll be okay.
Loy Allen also involved in that. Harry Gant, Todd Bodine, Kenny Bouchard, Dave Marcus, Michael Waltrip, Chuck Bound, and Rich Bickle. They have red flagged the race and stopped it to clean up in turn 1. And already it's a full moon night of racing in Charlotte for sure. Side by side, and Greg Sachs goes around and hard into the wall as he and Mark Martin got together. Nemechek just slips past Mark Martin. Are we going to have any cars left to finish this race?
I'll tell you what now.
Well, Greg Sachs filed a flight plan and took off into that wall.
Yeah, that was pretty hard lick here.
Greg Sachs' car just exploded into the wall.
He's okay. I see him moving around.
Mark Martin is out of the car.
Yeah, Mark's getting back in. He just looked the car over and feels that he might can go on, you know.
He's going to drive it back to the garage. full moon Saturday night. Let's show you what happens here with 2 white cars.
Okay, I know exactly what happened there. The 2 cars went in the corner there. Greg Sachs, the air was off the rear spoiler, and the car got loose and got up into the 6th car going in the corner there, Mike. When you go in, they're running speeds close to what we used to run in Daytona, and when you go in underneath the car on the bottom side, they'll suck the back right out from under you. See
Watch
right
the top
here?
of your screen.
See him right there? It just turns it around. That's aerodynamics there, folks.
That car hit the wall faster than the jets of the airline that sponsors him take off from the field at Charlotte.
Look at Dale Jarrett hold this car straight all the way down through here. You talk about sideways now. He was looking out the right door window to drive that car.
Folks, if you don't have a healthy respect for these fellas after that, let's get down to Randy Pemberton.
Well, Mark Martin, Jack Roush, as well as Steve Neal looking over this brand new car here. That's pretty well destroyed, Mark. Not a nice way to end the evening.
Just proud as I can be of this Valvoline team. I didn't think we were going to run good, and we were in good shape, man. I think we had a car to contend for the win, and I can't ask for any more than that. These guys have worked their heart out to build a brand new car with all the tricks in it that we know how to do. She was pretty awesome.
What happened in that wreck?
Sachs lost it.
Is that your 600 car?
Yes. Be all right. We'll be back, and it'll be as good as new, and we'll run good. I'm proud of these guys. That's two out of 3 for Sachs and me.
Tough break for Mark Martin, who got caught up in that accident. Greg Sachs started to spin down there. Well, they have red flagged this race once again, and it's starting to look like the play 10 Little Indians, because there are a lot less than there were just a few minutes before. Superstition Mountain up near Sedona. That's where David Pearson stops by on his way to Vegas. Looks for a little luck.
We have oil in turn 3 up here.
Rick Mast has let one go, and Jimmy Spencer spins. One car, John Andretti, is up at the wall in turn 4. Mast, after that great run last week at Rockingham, makes a hard left to the garage, and we have our first caution flag at lap 32. Rick Mast apparently blew up. Jimmy Spencer spun, and John Andretti has spun at turn 4.
Mike, what happened there was one car let go just going into turn 3, and everybody got in oil, and it was chain reaction. Oh, look at that wall. It actually split the wall there. They hit so hard.
John, it's not the way to get your sponsor on television, even though it is his sponsor. Ouch. It's a hard hit.
It was hard.
Here's John Andretti. Stop there.
That's one of the few times that I've seen a concrete wall broken.
Now, up here on David Pearson Ridge, there are thousands of race fans sitting up there watching the view from turn 4 up on the hillside.
Yeah,
You see, they've terraced that hillside to make it a little easier for the folks.
Yeah, they made it easier for, you know, of course, the snakes still crawl there.
Well, how many did you catch yesterday? Because I know Buddy Job sent you up there after what you said at Rockingham.
I didn't look for those snakes, that's for sure.
Let's show you what happened to bring out this caution.
There's Rick Mast going down into turn 3. You see the smoke really coming out of that car. There's a lot of fluid going down. Just behind him, everybody gets in this. That oil is just like hitting ice in the corner. I mean, there's nothing you can do. You see him start the chain reaction. That's Jimmy Spencer and the 27 car spinning there in the fluids.
He's lucky he didn't spin himself.
A look at Phoenix International Raceway. Infield road course and that back straightaway with that little kink in it. And a little kink make that chunk out of the wall there at turn 3. John Andretti climbed out of his car and is okay. There you see him. He's going to take the mandatory ride to the care center. They put the backboard away. Harry Gant making his last ride on TNN. And his last ride here in Phoenix, his next to last Winston Cup race of what's been a very storied career. On and off the track, he's been an inspiration to a lot of folks, and he'll be missed.
Number one, Harry Gant's one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. He could care less about the hero stuff. He's the kind of guy you'd love living next door to you. You know, nice family, his wife's awesome. Everything's just perfect about him. And he's the kind of guy that would fix your tractor if it's broke, help you fix your house, do stuff, never ask a question, and he's a giver.
I think everybody in here hates to see Harry retire because everybody in here knows that when Harry retires, you still got about 15 years left. So everybody was just hoping he'd keep on running and running.
Harry Gant's one of the people that really helped me a lot in my young career on asphalt. And he's just a super all-around racer. And I think he's too young to retire. I think he's too healthy to retire. I don't know why, but, you know, still. I was hoping Harry Gant could win a championship before he retired. That's what I was hoping.
You know, he ranks right up there with Richard as far as he's one of just the goodwill ambassadors that makes this sport what it is. And it's an awful lot. I mean, there's Dale Earnhardt fans and Rusty Wallace fans, but everybody's a Harry Gant fan.
People like Harry are, they're very far and few between, and I mean that in a kind-hearted, loving way. Harry is a neat guy, and he's going to be missed, and he's just fun to be around. I guess that's the biggest thing. He's just handsome Harry.
Harry Gant's first Winston Cup race, Charlotte, 1973. Went on to drive for Jack Beebe, Race Hill Farm, and then moved into Burt Reynolds and Hal Needham's Skoal Bandit. And in that Buick, got his first win at Martinsville in 1982. 18 career victories, over $8 million in earnings. And you see his car sitting motionless, as all of them are, because they have red flagged this race to do a bit of emergency repair to the wall in turn number 3, where it was hit by the STP Pontiac of John Andretti. They'll be able to affect, looks like they're going to weld a few pieces up on there, a bit of boilerplate to cover up the hole in the concrete, and then we can get back to racing. Gary Nelson, NASCAR's Winston Cup director, there on hand to supervise the repair proceedings.
Well, Mike, I'm standing in the middle of turn 2. Nice animated conversation going on here between Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon. Jeff, want a word with you. You told me right before the race that you felt like you really had a strong car. You come a long way up toward the field.
Well, no, actually, I didn't have a very strong car yesterday, but I just feel good about today. And, you know, they threw the green, and the car was real good on the outside and made up a lot of spots. I feel really good. You know, I don't know if we got anything for a couple of those Fords up front, but, you know, we need a good, consistent finish. We haven't had that for a while, and so that's what we're looking for.
Well, in your conversation with Mr. Earnhardt here, he asked you if you remembered the race here last year.
Well, I don't think I could forget last year, you know, but I forgive. So, you know, we race each other real hard, and, you know, things happen out there. But, you know, he's a tough driver, and, you know, I congratulate him early on a 7th championship. I thought that was great, but it's neat to race and try to learn from him. Did I learn anything from that, Dale?
I learned something from it. Well, I'd gotten in a Schrader earlier, and then we got together and Schrader wrecked, and then I was racing Gordon later and got into him and he wrecked. So I learned you can't wreck 2 team cars at one time. They'll team up on you again.
Has there been a payback?
Nah, them guys are pretty neat guys. You know, the whole group, really, a whole bunch of us racers here in Winston Cup, everybody races fairly clean, and it gets out of hand once in a while, but that's just because of hard racing and tempers. But after a race or 2, everybody gets over it, and somebody gets hurt like Ernie does, everybody pulls for him and works hard to get him well again. You know, over a year ago, they were everybody bad-mouthing him, and now we want to see him back, and we work. And, of course, he's doing really good in the championship. He and I was having a great race at the time when he got hurt, so, you know, I hate to see that, but it's good to come to Phoenix sort of locked up and not have to worry about points. Just go over here and race these guys and see what you can do with them. Good for me.
Well, everybody else has gotten out of the cars, but yet you remain in yours. Why is that?
Well, I just got me a comfortable seat here, and oh!
Well, there was one payback from Ken Schrader. No, Ken, we were talking about the incident here last year, and he was talking to Jeff. He got tangled up with Jeff. He got tangled up with you, and were you trying to get him back there?
No, last year we were just all in one of those race-related incidents, you know. Yeah. He's in a lot better mood this race here this year.
Well, having won that 7th championship, and another question for you, Dale. I've known you for a long time. You have always had fun. Even with pressures of 7 championships and all the demands on your time, you still have a ball out here.
Well, we do, Glenn, and it's what it's all about. All the hard work and everything you strive for is right here on Sundays racing. And, you know, I think NASCAR Winston Cup racing is the greatest thing going, and we appreciate everything they do for us. And it's just great winning a race, and you end up winning some championships, and you approach that, you know, the goal of 7, which everybody's been talking about, and you win it. It's just amazing, really. But the thing about it is, we got a lot of time left in our career, and we're looking forward to trying to win the next one, and that's what's, you know, next as far as next year. But we want to really let this one soak in and enjoy this one throughout the rest of this year and in New York, and then start working on next year. We're going to work on next year a little bit next week in Talladega, do some testing with the Monte Carlo. So we're looking anxious to see what happens there.
Well, I went to the press conference yesterday. I didn't realize all this happened. You went out to celebrate a little early, doing some hunting in New Mexico. You and Richard Childress. Tell us what happened out there.
We had a great time. We bagged two nice bull elks and rode the horses quite a bit. Had a little bit of a horse wreck. Richard fell off the mountain with a horse and went about 50 foot down. And luckily, the pine tree caught both of them, so they made it through the deal. And then later on, we were climbing out on some rocks and stuff and looking for elk, and he fell off a big rock about 13 foot. So, you know, he had a little bit of a rough time. He was a little sore, but still, we're in good shape, and we had some fun. We're looking forward to the rest of the year here, and, you know, I want to wish everybody a great holidays this year. It's going to be a good one for us with the championship and everything in New York coming up, but I wish everybody a great holidays, and, you know, just to enjoy it here.
True competitor, true champion, Dale Earnhardt.
And there's his car owner and true friend, Richard Childress, who said he's a lot sore. Childress described what happened. He said, we had a big horse wreck in New Mexico. All these guys need is lounge chair and some lemonade.
Boy, oh boy. I tell you what, when you get your adrenaline up and you're ready to race and have to stop like this, that's what you really want to do, because you really have to calm yourself back down and realize you still got a race to win here.
Kenny Wallace walking around and directing on pit road.
For anybody out there that sees the little black patches on these people's ears, they don't have problems with their ears or anything. They wear earplugs in there. You can see the lines coming off there. That's how they can hear the pit crew and converse back and forth. So they have to put that over, or it could get cocked a little bit sideways and hang up in your helmet, give you a lot of problems. So they tape their ears like that.
Let's show you what happened to knock this hole in the wall. Rick Mast goes up in smoke, and everybody else has to drive through that going into turn number 3. Some made it through, and some didn't.
Mike, that's not a drop valve there. That's when that's when it sounds like you got your arms full of stove wood and you trip down a step. Everything goes to the bottom, opens up the bottom of the race car, and that oil's everywhere down there.
And Rick Mast, who nearly won last week, is the first car out of the race this week. There's Darrell Waltrip, little limp in his step after he took a hard shot into the Rockingham wall last week. So he gets set to climb aboard. He says he's feeling okay. Still got a little bit of limp, though. The drivers climb aboard. We'll take one last break before we go back to racing here at Phoenix. Glad you're with us.